So today we're going to show you how to change a master clutch cylinder. Changing it out because the car was slipping at high RPM. No, it's the master because it's old. The only thing old in this car. Got a new slave stainless steel clutch line, but the master still has never been changed. So we're going to go ahead and change that out today. And then at the end of the video, I'll show you how to bleed a clutch with my special trick that will work 100% of the time to eliminate getting air bubbles in there, and it'll make it a one-man job. Anyways, the master clutch cylinder is right there underneath the reservoir, and the new guy, she's over here, sits just like that. Whenever you don't have a stainless line like that, you'll have a hard line. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take off your reservoir first. You're going to loosen your hard line before you do anything else to make life easier for yourself. For me anyway, since it's loose, I'm going to go underneath right away. I'm going to unbolt these two. I'm going to take it off from the pedal. It's going to be loose. And I'm going to come back up. I'll take off my reservoir. I'll be able to take the whole thing right out and do it from above, so it'll be easier for me. Just make sure when you're doing this that your .3 fluid doesn't leak everywhere, because it'll just eat away at your paint. Other than that, I'm going to start getting going. I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to take off my bolts and take the pin out of the pedal, and then she'll be loose, and then I can take it all apart up here. But like I said, you guys definitely want to, if you have a hard line, you're going to want to take your hard line off first, so that the master is not all loose, and it'll just make your life easier. Anyways, I'll see you in a second. Alright, so we're under the dash. We got the other side of the master in here. There's one 12 mil. There's another 12 mil there on the other side. And then at the end here, you're going to have a pin going through to attach the master to your pedal. So you're going to want to take that out too. So it's really simple. Just those two bolts and the pin, and then she's loose. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so that's all loose. You see she's ready to come out down there. So I'm just going to unbolt these two 10 mils, holding the reservoir down, and the whole thing should come up. We'll throw my rag underneath, and then we'll take the hose off that one, take the reservoir hose off as well, swap out the new one, and I'll put it back on. So my clutch line is off. This whole thing is loose. I can take it out away from the car. I'll swap out the line out of the car right here so we don't get oil all over the place. Okay, so reservoir is on the new one. Clutch line's back on. Make sure it's good and tight. You got nice copper crush washers here. You want to make sure they're nice and snug so you don't have a leak. I didn't say it before, but if you guys have some extra cash, when your master goes or when your slave goes, normally the next one's gonna fail very soon. So if you have the cash lying around, I would just go change both of them. If you have a little bit of extra money, I'd go for the clutch line too. So as you can tell, it's making my life a lot easier. You're gonna see when you're doing a hard line that you don't have much space to work with. You get the steel braided lines from eBay really cheap. When you buy a clutch line from eBay though, you want to try to get one of these fittings, because you can get some that come up in 90, and whenever you have it up against the firewall, you'll see it won't even fit. So you'll have to either modify your firewall or try and get adapters to try to make it fit. So this is the best clutch line really you can get. I'm sure there's better, but it's the most practical anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw the master back in the hole. I'll throw my reservoir back on, then I'll go underneath the car, throw the bolts on, tighten them up, and I'll show you how to set your adjustable pedal so that you don't pull your master out too far, and then it's set right and you'll be all good already. Anyways, I'll see you in a second. Alright, so I'm under the dash. Not much room down here, but anyways, okay, so the thing's in there, it's nice and tight. And what you're going to want to do, see your pedal is at its maximum right now, if I get this camera lined up. And you're going to want to adjust the set screw at the back here until the hole lines up perfectly. Right now it just needs to come forward a bit. So I'll untwist this a bit, a couple turns, check it again. I'm back. Sorry, my phone died. Anyways, so the thing was nice and tight. I went and adjusted the pedal link. Anyways, all you had to do was take this link and you turn it on the threadings until she lines up. Then you take your nut and you tighten it up against it. So I went ahead and did that. Put my set screw in. Just gotta put the pin in. And I still gotta tighten this up a bit there. And then she's ready to go. So I'll go ahead and do that there, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back on top here. We're ready to start bleeding the clutch. So here's the special trick. Anyways, we got a 1/4 inch rubber hose. I'm just using an old Gatorade bottle. Punch a hole in the top and you shove your hose right to the bottom. Anyways, then we're just gonna go down here. I'll show you if we can see. Take your 5/16 and the bleeding screw. Just slack it, just so that it's loose. And I go ahead and just tighten it, not really tight, but just finger your finger there so it doesn't leak. Go ahead, slap your 1/4 inch line on to the end of that. Sorry, can't see there. Sorry, get a better picture. Right on. So she's on there. And we'll just make it so that it goes a little bit tighter. You don't want it too tight or no fluid will come out. You just don't want air coming through the threading. So anyways, looks about right there. And I'll go ahead, we'll top off my fluid right off the bat. You got nasty old fluid in there. It's all gonna pass through though. I'll pump it right out. And then we'll pump it out. Whenever you pump it out, the oil is gonna come up in the hose. Sorry, right in the hose. She's gonna go right up, dump into this Gatorade bottle. And it's gonna let all the bubbles out of it at the same time without having to step on the clutch and loosen the screw and put it back and forth, back and forth. So now after you do that, the only thing you'll have to keep an eye on is your fluid level. You don't want it to drop too low and pull air into it. So just keep your eye on that when you're pumping your pedal. Anyways, I'll top it off and then I'll try to show you guys what I'm doing. Give me a second. Okay, so like I said before there, throw some rags down so you don't get your .3 oil all over the place. Go ahead, top that right up to the top. There you go. Alright, so then I'll go in the car. I'll start pumping the pedal. Just keep your eye on the reservoir on top so that the fluid doesn't drain. So you have to push and pull, push and pull. Kind of count how many it does so you can check on your reservoir. Still full. Get some air in there, so you're gonna have to just pump it vigorously probably until she starts kicking in. If you notice it doesn't move, sometimes the set screw needs to be loosened a bit more down at the slave. Just go try and do that. See if she starts bleeding a bit better. Where are you? There you go. up on top. It's dropping, but not very fast. I hear some fluid going in it now. It's dropped a bit. Just going very fast. That'll keep giving her. Be patient. The air will work its way out. Anyway, so you guys don't need to watch me do this. I'll be back in a second. So the reservoir dropped a little bit. Still didn't refill it yet. I don't know if you can see, but you can see here, well I can see anyways, there's air bubbles. You can kind of see it moving there. Anyways, there you go. She is coming out. She goes right up into here. So she's working, just gotta be patient. So I'll top this off and I'll go underneath, we'll pump it up some more there and see where we're at. So I had a nice air pocket in there. It wasn't going fast enough, so what I did, I just ripped the hose off for a second. I just dumped it right on the ground and on my downpipe, but whatever, she'll burn off. Anyways, until I heard it squirt out, and then I threw the hose back on, pumped it some more. She's draining nice and easy. As you can see, all the fluid, old fluid is gone. It's nice new fluid. All the old shit was pushed right out. So I'm going to keep on pumping it, topping it off, make sure, so we don't waste any time there, that there's no more air bubbles left in the system. And once I feel that it's good there, we'll just tighten up the bleeding screw down on the slave and she'll be ready to go. But make sure whenever you go tighten her back up after you leave the hose on, so the fluid's all there, leave the hose on, put your 5/16 on the bleeding screw, tighten her up, and then you can take your hose off. Like I said a bunch of times, just make sure you never let the reservoir run dry. Other than that though, it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, just don't let anybody tell you need a new clutch just because your clutch is slipping. Most of the time this is your slave or your master, or even your clutch line. Sometimes those have leaks. I'm saying if you have a little bit extra cash, just replace all three of those things right off the bat and you'll be ready to go. Saves having to drop your tranny out. Anyways, that's it boys. Hope this helped.